All right, it says we're live here, and I'm also going live on the Instagram channel, so I have to wait just a minute while that other thing says go live. And maybe it'll come, maybe it won't. There it is. Hello, Instagrammers. Go live there. Good. So I named this one a kind of a funny name. I wrote, my left knee is trashed and making money is easy. What does that mean, and what does that have to do with anything? Well, the left knee is trashed part is true. About 2 weeks ago, I had this funny, 2.5 weeks ago maybe, I had this funny experience. I went out in the garage, excuse me, and there's about 3.5 steps, one of those little steps, and then 3 regular steps to go down to the garage. So I got to the bottom, and I kicked the rug or something. Anyway, I lurched forward just a little bit and fell down on my knee. And I fell down pretty hard. It hurt a bit. So I laid there for a bit. And finally I got up and thought, oh, I'm probably bleeding and whatever, right? And then I looked at my knee, and I'd fallen on the left side, and it wasn't bleeding. And I thought, oh, yummy. How fun is this? My left knee is okay. So I didn't think anything of it. There was no blood, and it didn't look like it had broken the skin. So I didn't worry about it. About a week later, which is about 10 days ago now, I noticed that there was a scab on the left knee, and I thought, that's weird, because it didn't break the skin at all. How do I have a scab on this place where I fell down? And I didn't think any more of it. And then it began to swell a little and whatever. And so bottom line short story is, after about a week and a half or 2 weeks, I realized that something was really wrong with the left knee. And so under the kneecap, right about 1.5 inches below, right where that second little bump is, or at least I have a second little bump, it's swollen up badly. So Joy worried about infection and everything else. We finally went 3 or 4 days ago. Let's see, what's today? Thursday. So Monday we went to the doctor, and they looked, and, sure enough, there's quite an infection. And he wondered if he should lance it, and didn't. He said you might need to go to the hospital and get it lanced, and then not only that, but maybe you need some serious antibiotics. Now, if you know my history, you know that 6 years ago I had a fatal infection internally in lungs and bloodstream and killed me. And then a few months later, there was a recurrence of that they hadn't cleaned out. So my history with serious death-inflicting infections is real and not trivial. So anyway, he gave me some heavy-duty antibiotics. And so today is the 3rd day I'm on those antibiotics. And so my knee hurts, my left knee hurts. And that's funny because the right side, I've got this thing in my, my L4-5 vertebrae, something or other, is disc deterioration. So I'm limping on both sides, and it's really struggling. And I don't care. I don't care. Why would I not care? Well, this is the point of today's live, and thanks for listening to the silly story. My left knee is, in fact, trashed, and so that's going to take as long as it takes to heal. I'm on my 3rd day of 10 of these antibiotics, and hopefully it takes care of it, because I really don't want to go back to the hospital and get hooked up to an IV and have my knee lanced and a bunch of stuff. And I don't care. I'm happy, I'm thrilled, I'm delighted, and life is beautiful. So here was my point in connecting these. Life is what it is. My knee is what it is. An infection is what it is. The weather is what it is. The election, if you're in the U.S., is what it is. And what a flippin' mess. And in the middle of that, we've got these 2 monster hurricanes that are injuring, killing, affecting many millions. And we've got everybody yelling at each other about they did or didn't do this and turning it into a name-calling episode. And you know what? You can't do anything about that. If you want to vote, go vote. And you should. We're going to, even though we live in Canada. We're both U.S. citizens, so we're going to vote. But after that, there isn't a lot you can do. Complaining about my knee, which is something I could do, wouldn't change anything. So I'm going to hobble a few more days. It's funny because I went today to the elementary school. My Ukrainian granddaughter, Veronica, who's 9, going to be 10 in January in the 4th grade, they asked for volunteers to come and read. So she said her Canadian grandfather was coming, and I came to school today, and I went and read some stories. And guess what? I read a story about Claude, the albino whale. I mean, not whale, alligator, the albino alligator. Do you know about that story? I didn't really know that. There's an albino alligator, and I guess there's less than 30 of those in the entire world. Ooh, who knew? And right now, this one, Claude, is at the Golden Gate Park Natural History Museum. And so I had to hobble across I had to park a long ways away. There were lots of cars and people today because of a public event with parents and volunteers and stuff. So I hobbled across the lawn and everything else. My point, and how this ties into money, is this. I'm a coach. I make a good living. I'm an author. I'm a musician. I'm getting ready to work on some more songs in the recording studio, which is over there. I can complain all I want about my knee and my back and whatever else is going on. And I don't, because I love them. And I ask myself the question every day, what awesomeness can I make out of this busted knee and painful back and sciatica and all the rest? I don't care. I don't blame the circumstances for anything in my life. In fact, I lean into them and love them and ask, what can I create out of this? Now, how this ties into money is this. People come to me as a coach. I just spoke the other day to 800 people, an event that had about 800 or so people. I have another one coming up where I'm going to speak to another large group of people, and that's my mission, to reach 250 million. Yeah, you heard me, 250 million people this year, to help you realize you can create anything you want. And that's the point of creating the knee and the money. My knee is what it is, but it isn't going to stop me from my mission, which is reaching 250 million people to help you create whatever you want. I'm a high-performance coach. And as a high-performance coach, I help motivated people like you create things they don't believe they can create, like Olympic stuff. You want to go to the Olympics? You want to go to the Olympics in business? You want to raise your fees or your products or your profile? We need to talk, because the process of excellence is exactly the same. I don't care what field you're in. I've been in many fields. I've owned a recording studio. I was an executive in the energy industry in the United States and in Canada. I'm a coach. I'm a best-selling author 10 times over. I've got 20 books. So I know the process of creating excellence is exactly the same. So whether my knee is my knee and hurting or not, it doesn't matter. I'm going to create excellence anyway, and I invite you to do the same. So I have 3 invitations for you. 1, if you're not living at the top of your game, let's chat. Reach out and let's talk, because no one can keep you from living at the top of your game, from loving your life, from creating all the cash you want, because making money is easy. In fact, it has never been easier to make money in the history of the world. Now, I'm talking about in the free world where we have the opportunity to do things. I'm not talking about in dictatorships or places where you're severely curtailed, although many of these principles apply exactly the same. But when I say it's easier to make money now than it's ever been, that's absolutely the truth, and it applies to you right here, right now. If you're not making money, it's because you don't want to. You might get mad at me for saying it. You don't want to bad enough to do the work. And that would be like me. I don't want to get to the class to read bad enough to hobble across the field with a cane in one hand, and that's for my right leg, and my left leg hurts too, right? I just did it anyway. Why? Because I wanted to get to class to read to the kids. And I wanted to do that worse than I wanted to complain or hurt or worry about anything else. Making money is easy. So, number 1, 3 invitations. If you're not living the life you want, I call it your ultimate life, purpose, prosperity, and joy. And I invite you to go to that podcast page. Think of it, yourultimatelifepodcast.com. Go there and subscribe. I just recorded episode 922 today. 900 and something episodes, helping you, teaching you, loving you, encouraging you to create your ultimate life, purpose, prosperity, and joy. That's all I do. My goal is 250 million this year. And you know what comes because I'm doing that? Clients and money and cash and business. Those are a byproduct of my choice to reach you and love you and help you reach your ultimate life. So first invitation, if you're not creating the life you want, let's talk, because there's something keeping you from it and it can go away. The second thing is, if you are living exactly like you want, you're living your ultimate life, purpose, prosperity, and joy, then I'd love to talk to you. And there's two reasons for that. One, I love to know people that are doing that. And if you've got a story of resilience, of overcoming, of growth, of rising from the ashes, I love to feature those people on my podcasts and shows. Why? Because your story matters. In that regard, I'm holding a challenge in November 12th. DreamBuildWriteIt.com. Go there, DreamBuildWriteIt.com. It's for people who want to learn to tell their stories. Whether you want to create a program or write a book or create a keynote, the process to do that is the same. And the way you mine your world-class life experience is what we're going to focus on, and how to turn it into a book or a product or a coaching program or a keynote or a workshop. Because like I said, money's easy to make, and that's one of the ways to do it. Like, your life is so valuable, just that most people discount it. So that's the second invitation. The third one is, if you know someone who would be encouraged by such a message, yourultimatelifepodcast.com. Please share that. My goal is to reach 250 million people, and I could use your help. It's a positive message. Podcasts are free, and the messages are always encouraging and uplifting. If you know someone besides you that could use that encouragement, then please share it. Thank you for being who you're being, for loving yourself enough to get good at what you do, and for showing up powerfully in the world all the time. If there's anything I can do to help you live your best life, make the money you want, create the joy and wonder that life has to offer, even in these difficult circumstances, reach out and let's talk. We'll see you tomorrow.